Good to go.
Oh shit. Doesn't he fix it?
Hold on. It's just me. I'm pussy. Hold on.
I can fix it as well once I smoke it. I fix it. Yeah, if you don't smoke it like this, these ones. Do you want to use it? Do you mind using the same one?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. Because otherwise, like taking.
I haven't been sucking dick, so you don't have to worry about me.
Me neither. No dicks for 4 months now.
What is it? It's September, right? September, August.
July, June,
May, April, March.
Okay.
7 months for me.
7 months.
I'm dying.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get that, man. Like, yeah. I hate how much we both need it and we hate it. Not the dicks, I don't find it. Just, but the affection.
No.
For me, that's.
I
what
like to get ripped. No. I like my spinal ripped out.
Okay.
That's
we're
a
gonna.
blue. Don't put that on.
It's not. It's on there. It's on there. We're gonna put it on there. All right, let's do this again. All right. Welcome to Let's Hookah. Today we have Lissa Lenis. Welcome, Lissa.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on, and we finally managed to get this working.
Yeah.
Had some technical issues. This camera is definitely looking.
I think it's mostly looking at you.
No, it definitely is looking at you too, but it's kind of not even, so that's fine. Fix all that in post, I guess.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of this hookah again?
So this brand is called Social Smoke.
Sponsor her.
Sponsor us, and that's what I was mentioning to you before. Every time people come on here, we're like talking about tobacco and talking about hookah, but then all the topics are usually around like mental health and self-care and self-help, and it's like we're being both toxic and also really helpful at the same time.
Yeah, because we're filling up our lungs
Yeah.
with tobacco.
Well, like, yeah, we are. We're breathing. We're
But it's a
exercising.
cultural thing. I don't think people realize what hookah is.
Yeah, people don't realize that it is a social thing for us, that it's community building around it.
Bro, I live in Astoria, so Stanway is like a big hookah like strip, right? And I'll see like grandmas in there smoking hookah,
Yeah.
like hijabs and everything, and I'm like, bro, what's? I didn't even know, like, cause I'm ignorant. I'll be honest, like to certain things, and I'm like, are y'all allowed to do that?
Well, technically, you're not allowed to smoke hookah either. Anything that like poisons your body, you shouldn't do in Islam. But it's also such a cultural thing that no one thinks about it as a sin. Those same women could not be smoking cigarettes. They would be shamed for smoking cigarettes, but hookah is fine.
Isn't it the same thing? Though?
It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
nicotine. It's like some people even say hookah is worse for you, but who knows? Yeah. So what was your first hookah experience?
Ooh. Sorry, Mom, but I was 13.
13.
And like where I grew up, I'm born in Queens until 9/11. My dad was like, we're getting out of here. I don't want to raise you in New York. And we went to North Carolina, and I was raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Wow.
And when I was in freshman in high school, they opened up this. I still remember the name because it's a little racist. It's called Alibaba's. And it was like, at first they were like, oh, it's a Egyptian restaurant. But I kept seeing people smoke out of this. And I asked the guy, I was like, what is that? And he was like, it's hookah. Do you want to get one? At the time, when I was 13, I looked like this.
You were like grown up.
I had titties and everything.
Oh wow.
So the guy didn't even ID me or anything. He just gave me a hookah. It was like mint.
Oh.
And my first inhale, I died. because they said that people with asthma are not supposed to smoke.
You had asthma too?
I have asthma.
You still have
I
asthma?
still have it.
Am I liable for this?
No, it's okay. Listen, I'm such a hood rat now with hookah. Like, I'll never forget my last experience with hookah was my birthday. And before that, because I quit when I was 25.
Okay.
Because I was at that time in college where I was just like, it was finals. I had worked a full-time job, and I was just out every night, party, because I want to live it up. I'm at an age where I'm like, I'm comfortable with who I am and my body and everything, and I was out every night, Washington Heights, smoking hookah, Dykeman, just
with
living
the
it up.
Dominicans
With the
out
Dominicans.
there. Oh, we're gonna get into that. I feel like there are stories there.
Oh man, there's so many stories there.
That was your area. Wait, you went to Fordham or?
I went to Hunter College.
Oh, okay. Is it up there?
No.
Where is it?
So Hunter is in 68 in Lexington.
Oh, okay.
It's Midtown?
Yeah, Midtown.
Midtown.
So how come you were up in Dykeman and?
Because I'm a hood rat.
Okay,
I
she
just-
needed the Dominicans.
I needed fun. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I do really like Inwood. I think it's such a cool neighborhood.
Inwood, yeah.
Yeah, like they have hookah, they have good food, they have music,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have
Made in
all
Mexico
of it.
is fire.
made in Mexico. What
I
is
love
it?
that. It's a place.
Is
I
it
don't
a
know if it's
restaurant?
still open. Yeah.
Cool. We should
The
check
brunch
it
is
out.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like lit brunches.
Yeah, I had a friend couple that lives up there because the rent is cheaper, white people, you know.
Yeah.
And every time they're like, oh, do you want to meet up? I'm like, yeah, Inwood, I'll come up.
Okay.
Because otherwise there's no excuse for me to go up there.
Before we continue, Chelsea was like, I live in Harlem, so I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's Harlem.
Yeah.
She didn't tell me she lives in White Harlem.
I live in White Harlem. Actually, I started telling people I live near Harlem. Because Morningside Heights is technically this area. And
Mhm.
why are we giving up my address?
I was about to say, don't say
Yeah.
the whole area.
Alright, I'm gonna edit that out.
Just
I'm gonna
bleep
edit
it
that out.
out.
I'll leave it out. But because when I tell people I live uptown,
Right.
they don't think of this neighborhood as like a separate neighborhood. It's like it's close to Harlem, but it's the white side of it.
Yeah. I was like, this is kind of nice. I like it.
Yes.
It's a good looking neighborhood.
It's all white money up here.
Yeah.
All white
Oh,
money.
yeah. You can tell the difference between old and new. We're not getting into that. Let's
No.
just because I can vent about old and new money for hours.
Cause you're a New Yorker, right? Like you guys feel that.
Ideally, yes. Because even when I lived in North Carolina, I would be in and out summers here, so I would stay here.
So
during
do you
summers.
identify with North Carolina at all?
I do and don't. Like there are parts of me that are like, yeah, I'll say I'm from North Carolina, but I don't act like it.
Right.
If that makes sense. Because New York is a national.
Right. How does a North Carolina, what do you call someone?
North Carolinian?
Linian?
See, I don't even know.
That's how much you're not from there.
It's so funny. I was talking to Napoleon O'Neill, right? Because
Yeah.
he's from North Carolina, and he's like, "Wait, so you're from New York and North Carolina?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you're biracial?" I was like, "No, that's if you're black and white. I'm Puerto Rican." He's like, "You can't be all of this at once."
Wow. Okay. No. Women have range. We can be multiple things. We can be sane and crazy at the same time.
That's true.
Right?
True.
Yeah. I think we're just more complex than men understand.
I just found it funny. He was like, "You're biracial."
Biracial. I mean, I guess technically being from North Carolina is so different from being in New York that it could count as like two different
Like
types.
dual citizenship.
Yeah, dual citizenship. That's what it's gonna end up being. All these states are gonna be countries eventually.
I don't think so.
A lot of people believe in it, like international
The only place-
lawyers believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only place I think that could succeed out of the states, in my opinion, is New York.
Right. What about LA?
LA too, but I feel like New York has more money.
Mm.
And the amount, if you think about it, the amount of NYPD people, we have our own army.
That's true, actually. Yeah. But those people fight for nothing, right? They only fight for themselves.
We're not getting it.
Let's get into it. Lisa. What are you afraid of?
Oh man.
Show us your true New Yorker colors,
I
non-blue colors.
I don't have anything against anybody that is a cop.
Right.
Will I fuck a cop? No.
Really?
I do drugs. I can't do that.
Don't they though?
That is true.
They
They
definitely
do. I feel like they do. The second that uniform comes off, they're normal people.
They are, and honestly, the way that they behave in the streets, they feel criminal. Like, I'm saying this as someone who's only lived here a year, but when I got here, in the UK, the police is like, they don't make you feel uneasy. They don't. Like, they don't even carry weapons. But New York police just makes you feel uncomfortable.
They give you a tense.
Yeah.
And those motherfuckers are slick as fuck. I remember I went out one night and I met a guy in a bar. And I didn't do anything. We just exchanged numbers. We talked for a week and then we went on a date. And then he drove, right? So I was like, oh my god, how'd you find parking? He's like, oh, I can find parking easily. Like, it's not an issue for me. I was like, oh, you must have good luck. And then he took out his wallet to pay, and then I see the badge, and I was like, oh, you're a cop.
Whew, what happened? What'd you say?
I was like, oh, you're a policia. You're
Policia.
You're policia. He was like, he felt kind of ashamed saying that.
Oh wow.
Like, he's like, I don't always mention it.
It was you white?
No, I don't put me and white men together.
Yeah, okay,
I
good.
don't
We're
date
on the
white
same.
men.
We're on the same page then. Yeah, same here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I get mad whenever I see like white men try to hit on me.
Really?
I do. We're not gonna defer from the cop story. Hold on. So the thing is with the cop,
Keep it going.
like I was like, oh, you're a police officer. He was like, I don't always mention it because I always get like girls like backing away from it or using it as a benefit, which I can see because if you're a cop and you're single, some girl's gonna bag you and try to get all those benefits.
Like what benefits?
Well, they have a lot of benefits. Being a cop,
Really?
yeah.
I thought it was very underpaid.
Well, I don't know, but if you're married, I don't know the logistics of this. I don't want to sound like I know everything because I don't.
I don't know. Maybe he just thinks that people desire bagging.
Like men in
cops.
uniform.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I always thought the police wasn't like super well paid here. That's why they're like power tripping.
Yeah.
They probably have like really good social benefits, right? Like healthcare and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's one of them.
But in terms
Like
of
when they
income,
die, they get a lot of lump sum.
Oh wow.
So yeah. But
Okay.
I will say this, like, I like growing up I grew up in an area that is military. So
Right.
being around military men and being around cops is not a big difference.
Mm.
But it's always crazy how women are like, oh my god, a man in uniform, and I'm just like, this is gross. This is this is not for me.
It is, yeah.
No disrespect to any man that or woman that is on the badge or anything, but it's not for me. I don't know. Especially like during the pandemic, it was not a good.
No, like just how assertive they were in telling people what they could and could not do. Like we're already kind of under so much stress. Why are you making it so much worse?
I think not to mark your comment down. I think it's because you're also a person that wasn't raised here. You're not from the U.S.
I didn't do the pandemic here.
Yeah.
I did the pandemic in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the New York cops were probably a bit more lenient actually than the UK cops were. The UK cops were like, we'd sit at the park and they'd come and say you can't sit at the park. You have to be, because the UK laws were like you can't be outside at all unless you are exercising or going shopping for food.
So here they gave us a curfew, and
Right.
anybody that was outside, you had to show identification that you were an essential worker.
Right.
I remember one time getting off the Grand Central, and it was 5:45. Our curfew was 7 p.m. and the cops were already lining up to see who's getting on the Grand Central and why are you getting on the Grand Central after
And what would they do if you didn't have a proof of being an essential worker?
you get ticketed.
And that's my problem.
Yeah.
Like, why? People are already suffering.
Well, you have to understand that during the pandemic, we had a big, like, a lot of people were just dropping, and this was the epicenter of it.
Right.
Like, because we are a melting pot and we have so many people congested in one area, it spread. So, like, I got COVID 3 times.
Wow.
And each of the last time I kind of deserved it because I was out partying. But the first 2 times I was real innocent about it. Like, the first time I got it was right before it became COVID. I had an upper respiratory infection for 4 weeks.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this? Like, I couldn't breathe. Everything, and I was like, what is going on? And then the doctor told me it could be a continuance of COVID-19. And I was like, wow. So I got COVID-19 in that early December before we shut down in March.
That's right.
And then the second time I got it was because of the vaccine, the first dose. Because my immunities were still low from the previous. But I got the vaccine, and then I got COVID just going to the supermarket. And that's why there were so many curfew laws and stuff like that.
But that's actually kind of strange. That could have just meant that you got the different strain, because if you already had COVID back in December, then you should already have really good immunity.
Yeah.
Because people who had it naturally had much better immunity than those who got it immunity via vaccine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my body doesn't my immune system is shot. Like,
Right.
everything. Like, if you were to sneeze on me, I would get a cold the next day.
Damn. Okay.
Like, my immune system is shitty. And at the time, even though I had literally March, we shut down, I was good, brand new, still working, still moving. And then around June, July, we got the vaccine.
Right.
Because I'm a teacher, I literally had to be first in line for it. Because we're gonna be with children the following school year.
Right.
So I got the shot, and then, I was still wearing the gloves and the mask. I went to the supermarket, and then I came back, and I just felt like so heavy.
Yeah.
Felt so heavy, and I was like, this does not feel. I was like, maybe it's a reaction from the vaccine, and they said, wait 4 days.
Yeah.
Waited the 4 days, waited 2 weeks, and I still felt so heavy.
Wow.
And then the next day, I was like having asthma attack. And then I went to the hospital, and like, you have COVID-19 again.
That's wild. Even though, yeah, the immunity, the vaccine probably brought down, while your body was trying to fight it, you probably just caught it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, man.
I love how we went from Dykeman to police cops to COVID-19.
Yeah. It's
Look at this
tangents.
podcast. We're moving and grooving, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with conversing with me. I think it's always gonna be so unstructured because I can't stay on one topic. I just keep going. It's all tangents. Just keep going. But yeah, all right. COVID-19. Hopefully, we're now fine enough that we just get like continuous exposure to COVID, and when none of us really gets really
It doesn't
sick from
exist now, apparently.
anymore. Like,
The
people still
CDC
get-
was like, we had a meeting at my school that was like, you don't have to wear a mask. CDC said, well, you don't have to wear a mask. And I was like, oh, okay, so what happens in exposure? Everybody wears a mask for 5 days. The kid that has COVID has to stay home for 5 days, but everybody just gets tested. If nobody has symptoms, you still stay in the classroom.
I think that's fair. Like, that's why we got vaccinated so many times, just so that we could prevent it from.
And it's also because the school now, well, no, but the younger ones, no, because they can't get the vaccine yet. But because my class, they're already like 4 or 5, they have to have the vaccine. They can't attend without it. So it's mandatory.
For that age, yeah. My nephew's like 9 years old, and in his class, I think a lot of them got vaccinated.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they would like shut down. They just sent kids home if they were tested positive, and they would just do the those like tests, not the PCR test, but just the regular ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like a good way to just stay on top of it. Just be like, okay, go home for 2 days and then come back. It's like having the flu, right? That's the idea, is to make it an endemic instead of an epidemic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we're good on.
we're good.
Yeah, on the COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about COVID. That was like very exciting conversation. No, I want to know more about you being a hoe up in Dykeman.
Oh man. I so I kind of talk about it in my. I'm a comedian, so I kind of talk about it in my set where it's like I didn't start dating until I was like 26.
Okay.
So I lived. I don't want to say I lived a sheltered life because I wasn't sheltered. I was still doing other things besides fucking. Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not. We're not on the radio. We're
I
just
know.
on like. We're just on all platforms except the radio.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. Yeah. And for me, I was like, you know what? This is like my second year of college. I don't have parents around me. I don't have anything. I'm gonna live it up. I'm an independent woman. I should be able to like enjoy my body, enjoy who I am as a person.
Absolutely.
I identify with who I am. And the thing is, like, I'm such a late bloomer that I was just like, you know what? Fuck it.
You know what, Lisa, I said this to you before, but when you talk about these kinds of things, I always think of you as a Muslim woman. Because that's like the things that Muslim girls say. Like, oh, my parents weren't around, like I went to college, I started feeling like okay with myself, and like started, you have a whole face. You have a whole face.
Yeah, I in college, like I joined, oh man, I don't want to put too much out there.
Why?
I joined this club called Hostos. And when I joined the club, everybody, it's just like Hostos is just like a Puerto Rican multicultural club.
Oh, okay.
So all we did was just go in there and play dominoes. It was like a stress-free. We could it's just a room where you could do papers and stuff like that. Hang out. If you had like an hour break or something, you can stay
That's
in the
cool.
campus. It was a good. It was originally meant for like rebellion and like stuff because it was like during the era of like the Young Lords. I don't know if you know who the Young Lords are. It's like the Puerto Rican version of the Black Panthers.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What was their?
The same thing, like separation from the U.S.
I see.
Because Puerto Rico is a commonwealth.
Right. Yeah.
And like at the time it was like 1965. It was like the Great Migration. So the U.S. was bringing a lot more Puerto Ricans into Harlem and like Washington Heights, the Bronx, because they wanted the people to work in like factories and stuff like that, just get more capitalism into the U.S. while the U.S. used the ports to export.
Yeah.
So there was like, we want to stand on our own, we want independence, like we want our name back basically. And it's just it got really rebellious.
Right.
Because there was a lot of attacks on Puerto Ricans and blacks too. This is not just Puerto Ricans, because the Young Lords, there's a thing called Afro-Latinos. I don't know if anybody knows about that.
Sure.
But it was like simultaneously like, it became a brotherhood amongst the Black Panthers as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Puerto Rico, do you have a lot of Afro-ethnic people? Okay, because I know Dominicans have a lot.
Yeah, just like Dominicans, I'm a black, I'm black like you. And it's like, yeah, you are black, you're black.
Yeah.
And it's because we, like, as a culture, we've been so, like, assimilated and, like, colonial,
Colonized?
Colonized by, like, white culture,
Yeah.
if that's even a thing, that we, like, it's been embedded into the older generations, like, we have to straighten our hair, we have to lighten our skin just to be accepted by these people. And it's like, no, fuck them. Well, who are they to us? Absolutely nobody.
Absolutely. But their beauty standards have just taken over the entire world. Because they obviously they dominate media, they dominate television and everything like that. So their beauty standards are what we see all over the world.
And it's not just like Afro-Latinos, there's also like indigenous people. like the Tainos were taken out completely
Right.
by like Europeans
Mm.
when they settled. And so not only we have Taino, we have black, and we have Spaniard blood. And a lot of people complain that, oh, Puerto Ricans don't speak Spanish like how the Spaniards, because we're rebellion.
Right.
We're not gonna like assimilate to your Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk like I have a list.
Also, languages evolve, right? You're like so far away from Spain as well. Why would they expect you to maintain their original language?
Yeah.
And it's never original, right? Even within Spain, it's different from south to north.
Yeah, and like, let's look at Spain. They have Catalonia.
Exactly.
And
they're
like,
not even like actually Spanish.
they already they're independent now. They separated. They succeeded out of the Spaniard.
Catalonia.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not independent.
I thought they were.
They're under the Spanish rule, but they have their own agency.
Oh, okay.
So they
I
have
thought
agency,
okay.
but they're not. They want independence. They've been fighting for independence for a while.
They have their own language, laws, money, and everything.
Their schools are taught in, like, the Catalan language is taught in school. But then, for instance, there's the Basque country, which is like ethnically even different from the Spanish, because they were people who lived behind mountains, so they didn't have access to the Spanish, and they sort of lived off the land, and so the Basque country is considered independent and different, but and they don't accept the Spanish flag, but they don't have agency the way Catalans do. And there were loads of like fights, like actual violent fights between them and the Spanish.
That's good to know. I have a student this year that's Catalonian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From what part of Catalonia?
I don't know. They just told me that they're from Spain and they're like they don't want him to be called Spanish because he's Catalonian.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I tried looking up children's book in Catalonian to make him feel comfortable and everything.
That's fun. I know one sentence in Catalan. I have some friends from Barcelona that taught me. It's la bella is la bella.
The beauty is the beauty?
No, bella is money. So apparently in Spain, the Catalans are known to be kind of like thrifty.
Yeah.
With their money, and they're like.
That's why they're so rich.
Are they? I don't know.
They're like they're richer than Spain.
Oh yeah, because they're part of the Spain is doing really well. Like Barcelona is like the business center of Spain right now.
Yeah.
So they're doing really well. They're growing really, really well. The power to them,
This podcast goes from so many different point of views. I was like, I'm ready to tell my whole stories, and here we are just talking politics.
I mean, politics is a part of life. I hate when people say, I don't do politics. Like, it means you have no opinion about life.
I'm apolitical.
You're apolitical? Like, does that mean you're not Democrat?
Everybody's like, oh my God, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Are you independent? It's like, bitch, I'm an Aries. Leave me alone. Like, I don't know. It's just like
you're Aries. I can see that.
For me, it's just like I'm more of like I don't know if you notice, like I'm more of a history buff. Like I love knowing certain facts.
But is that not in the context of politics?
That's the thing. Right? If you're apolitical, I say this about atheism as well. You have a belief in something.
True.
Because you're declaring as something that you don't believe in. So you have the belief, you know the belief, but you don't want to accept the belief.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That it's all in relation to something else. So okay, let me ask you something. You said you're not Democrat, Republican, or whatever. But you have beliefs about like political structures. Like, do you believe that healthcare should be free? Education should be free?
Yeah, of course.
So you're political then.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I have certain beliefs, but it's just like I'm not gonna sit here and be like have a 5-hour conversation about the Democrats and the Republicans, the Green Party, and it's just like it's not for me. I can't do that.
Right. No.
I'm not gonna sit here and talk politics, even though my degree is in political science. But it's just like I can't do that.
Yeah.
Even on stage, I steer so far away from the political shit. I do not want to be bothered with that on stage.
I get that. I see that. That's also. You don't need to be defined by a party system, right? You can just be like, these are the beliefs I have. Like, I would say that about myself. I call myself a socialist, but really the most socialist thing about me is that I think education and healthcare should be free. I think we should tax everyone, especially the rich. No one does
Yeah.
not get text. That's the extent of my.
I haven't paid taxes actually. Maybe I should have said that. I'm joking. I'm
harboring a
joking.
criminal.
I'm joking.
Okay, I'm really curious about this time in your life where you're like, okay, now I'm away. I feel better about myself. I feel good about. I'm gonna explore this.
So the way that it began is because I lost a lot of weight.
Okay.
And like, of course, like social beauty standards. I always thought, oh, I'm not gonna fall in love because I'm big.
Oh.
No man's gonna love me, right? That's a fucking lie. Everybody wants to fuck me, and it's crazy. I was like, what? It's so funny. I always say this. I remember the time I walked into that club. I walked in, every guy was like, who was that?
Yeah, because you're so pretty.
Oh,
like
thank
that's yeah, for sure. That's I think I also do love the way that New Yorkers feel about like beauty is different from other parts of the world.
Everybody's different. Everybody has a preference, and that is who you are. One thing I will say, because we're talking about it, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm so confident, I'm so sexy. I'm not. It took me a while to learn that.
Right.
Because our beauty standards, bigger women are set to see as a fetish versus being loved. And it took me years to like go up to men and be like, I'm not a fucking fetish, I'm a human being. Because the whole term, oh, BBW, plus size, this and that, I hate that.
Right.
I hate I'm a woman. That's it. I identify as a woman. I like, that's who I am. You don't have to, oh, you're such a beautiful BBW. I love BBWs. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
You're fetishizing me right now, and I hate that. So it took me a while to learn to get out of that bubble. Because I will admit, like, right in the beginning, I hated everything about being a bigger woman. And it's because social beauty standards were thought to be like, you're like, you shouldn't eat so much. And it's like, I don't. I don't eat so much, that's why I'm fat. Because my body is holding all that food in for nutrition. Because I want to lose weight, and I thought, oh, if I don't eat, I'll lose weight. And it's not like that. Oh, you should exercise. I do exercise. Matter of fact, I exercise 5 days a week.
Yeah.
There's not a day I don't take off.
Wow.
And there's like, oh, and my favorite one is like, oh, she's a big girl, she must not care for herself. And it's like, Josu, when have you ever not seen me not pretty?
Never. Yeah.
So it's just like, do you think, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are days where I'm like wearing sweats and I have my hair
We
out.
all do.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Yeah.
But it's like, there's not a moment where I'm not like, I'm ugly. No. Like, it's crazy. Bigger women are also told, oh, she's big, she must be easy. Because we have no self-esteem.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll fuck you, but I'm not easy.
I do it for me, not for you.
I do it for me, not you.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's hard. Like, those are a lot of things to be dealing with, actually. And I can definitely see all those stereotypes about bigger women. It's like genetically we know that's not even true. Like scientifically we know that's not true.
Yeah.
We know that some people have genetics that means they hold on to nutrients more.
Yeah.
And it's an evolutionary thing, right? Like we come from people who maybe did not have food for days, so they had to store more.
Yeah.
So genetically, evolutionarily, you're better prepared for that.
And it's also culturally.
Mm.
Like, different cultures see bigger women differently.
That's true.
Like, in my culture, no. You are like, you are literally bottom barrel.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm Puerto Rican and Colombian. Colombian women are known to get BBLs, plastic surgery. Like, that's our number one thing.
Okay.
We're known for that. Why? Because beauty standards.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans, I don't know a lot about my Puerto Rican side. I just know like the history and stuff like that, but you can only imagine just growing up Latino and just I'll use this personal example. My sister is 5 feet tall. She's white with freckles and blonde hair.
Wow.
I have curly hair. I'm much more caramel. I have dark eyes and I have freckles as well. But I'm 5'7" and 200 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. My parents are like, "You're not. Are you gonna lose weight? You're not gonna find a husband like that."
Wow.
Yeah. They're like, "No, you gotta lose weight. You gotta find a husband."
Damn.
And it's like, Mom, I fuck everybody. I can have a husband by tomorrow. It's not an issue for me.
You said that to your mom?
Well, yeah, no. Because this is another thing. I trained my parents out of that mindset.
You're not smoking, you know?
I know.
You're talking, but that's fine. That's fine. I'll smoke.
Yeah, smoke. Sorry. I trained my parents out of that mindset.
Mm.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because they have that embedded in them from previous generations. That mindset where it's like you're only beautiful if you're skinny, white, blonde with blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You are considered a porcelain. That literally say that porcelain doll.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's crazy. Because I see a lot of moms now, which is amazing, and are like I've been saying Latinx culture. Sorry, it's Latinx.
Latinx.
Latinx
I mean,
culture.
you're the one that word affects so.
Honestly, that word was given by white people, so I don't.
You think
I like
so?
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like we're not gonna get into that right now, because that is a whole other show.
See, look, you're trying to stay apolitical, but no one can be apolitical.
I know.
See?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have a belief in something.
Absolutely. But yeah.
A lot of the culture is evolving out of that mindset because we're teaching our daughters that one, you are beautiful, you are smart, you can rule this world. You have the world in your hands now. Let's rewind 20 years ago. Who was number one in our culture? J-Lo. Look at J-Lo. J-Lo's like ideal. Look at Shakira. Look at Sofia Vergara. Who else? Penelope Cruz.
Right.
And now you have, which I love, you have bigger women now on television taking on the role as like the love interest.
Right.
I love it. There's a show called Gordita Chronicles, which is based in the 80s, and it's about a Dominican family coming in to the U.S. and living in Miami. And when I started watching it, I was like, they're gonna say something about this girl being fat. I already know it. And I started getting like, I was like, I'm gonna prepare myself for trigger warnings. Not one episode mentioned her weight.
Really?
Not one episode mentioned her weight. And I was like, that is insane, and that's how you know we're moving as a culture. We're moving on past that.
Yeah.
We're embracing our dark skin, our curly hair. Natural's the new thing now.
Natural's the new thing. Yeah.
Well, it's not new, but it's being more acceptable.
It's being new in like mainstream media as like being like appreciated.
Yeah. One thing I love that my sister does, because her daughters are mixed. They're Dominican and Puerto Rican. So she's white Puerto Rican and her husband's black, like Afro Latino, and she's she's getting dolls that are black. She's like telling them that, you know, your hair is beautiful. You don't need to straighten it. You have beautiful curls. Your skin is beautiful. That's one thing that I've never saw growing up.
Right.
And she's putting it into her daughters, which is amazing.
That's great. Good for her.
And I'm not saying this as a bad thing about the colorisms and the beauty standards of my culture, but it's just like we're just now going past that. And we're like, no, we're women. We could be doctors, we could be firefighters, even outside of Latino culture, like we're progressing out of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
Like,
that.
look at me, I'm in a crop top.
Wear whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly, wear whatever you want. If I do this in front of like an older woman, she'd be like, you're showing everything. Are you not ashamed?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think in Europe, where I grew up, it's still that way.
Mm-hmm.
And in Turkey, where my family's from in the Middle East, it definitely is that way still. It's, unless you're like size 0, they treat you like you're too big. And that's like, if you see that in the TV show, love interests are always, like everyone is so fit on TV in Turkey, the women. You're like, I've been to Turkey.
Yeah.
This is not what people look like. Why is everyone looking so light skinned with like platinum blonde hair that's been dyed?
It's still
to
like that
death?
in novellas too. In novellas, there's
It's
not.
like, you're not representing real people,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I watched novellas on Telemundo, and I'm like, I've never seen a white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired Mexican in a day of my life. The Mexicans I see here, they're like 4'11",
Right.
brown, Indian hair. Like, it's just like,
It's
that's
so
not what I see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where are you getting these people from? And then now, like, I'm just like, I wonder how the new novellas are gonna be written.
I wonder.
Like, I watched House of
House of Cards?
The Spanish one, the bank robbery.
Oh, Paper House. No. Yeah, is it Paper House? What is the? I just know the.
I know it's called Casa de Papel, and
Yeah.
that's the
Casa de-
Spanish
Yeah.
Spanish version, but I think it's called something else in English.
Because I saw it. My Netflix shows everything in Danish, so it's
Yeah.
because it's my brother's account. It says Paper House.
Shout out to your brother.
Yeah, my brother's been paying for my Netflix. My brother's been paying for Netflix for like 10 years. He's like, you're a professional. You can pay for your own Netflix. I'm gonna cancel this. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I
but
can't.
you're here with me. You're supporting my.
Exactly.
What is $17? Come on, bro.
Exactly. Like you're an engineer. You're doing well. You have a house. You have a car. Really, this is where you decide you're gonna.
I
be
can say the
50.
same thing. My sister smooches off of my Netflix and my HBO, and I'm
Really?
like, word.
Just the thing is, I have been on my own for a very long time, for like 10 plus years. And for me to have a Netflix account that you can share with 3 people and to just be me, that's sad. It's like, cause,
It be your own blood. It be your own people, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. No, I love how, as a culture, we're like moving past this.
Mhm.
Will I say we're completely out of it? No, because bigger women are still being seen as a fetish,
Mhm.
but it's coming more. I don't know. I don't know if you can, like, see it when you walk the streets. You see bigger women wearing crop tops and like.
Yeah, I think that's a New York thing for me, and I find it so cool. And I was saying that to people, actually, my friends who always ask me about what I feel about New York. I'm always like, I hate it. But one thing I would say about New York that's like outstanding is that you can be whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want. No one bats an eye, and I love that.
Nobody gives a fuck.
No one
That's
cares.
We literally mind our fucking business.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, so this is what drove me to being, like, doing whatever I want.
Mhm.
I had one day, this was my first day of college, and I took an Uber, right? And it was a Spanish lady who had drove me to school, right? She tried to sell me Herbalife while in the Uber.
Wow.
And it was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
That is.
I've been writing that bit.
That
for
seems like a
while.
bit for me. That seems like it could be a bit.
I was like, this is a good bit. But she tried to sell me Herbalife, and if you don't know what Herbalife is, it's just like a weight loss system. And
It's a pyramid scheme.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just unbeknownst to me how the woman was like nonchalant about it. She's like, "Do you want to lose weight?"
And she's the Uber driver.
She's my Uber driver.
Did you give her a low rate?
I got out of that car, and I was like, I want my money back.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
I want my money back. I'm not tipping her at all. And I was like, you know what? People like that, fuck them. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, we're on this earth for a certain amount of time. Why am I holding myself off? I should be fucking right now. And that's how the butterfly effect happened. Like the
love
spreading
that.
of the wings.
That's such a good moment to be like, I feel that way too, you know. We're here for such a short time. Why be so miserable all the time about things that sometimes are not even in our control?
It's also 2 months after that I went to my first open mic.
No way. Wait, did you say you were just starting college then?
No, it's my second, like sophomore year, first
Okay.
day. Because I remember I did one open mic years ago, never came back to it
Okay.
until my senior year
Mm.
of college. So I did the Creek and Cave. I did one mic there because the guy I was talking to was like, I know you like comedy and how you always like wanted to be a comedian. I put your name in the bucket. He was like, I don't care if you bomb or anything. I want you to like see if this is something for you. I got on stage, bombed horribly. Like it was so bad to the point I just dropped the mic. Mind you, it was only 3 minutes. You know how little time is 3 minutes?
It's so little, yeah. It's
But
like,
when you're first starting off, it's like you're shaking. You're like, what am I gonna talk about for 3 minutes? And now I'm like, I only get 3 minutes. What the fuck is this?
yeah, like, that's just offensive if you get 3 minutes now.
At any mic, because you can't run no material if it's 3 minutes. I'm like, I need a mic that gives me 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes.
And I don't even do mics anymore. I
No,
don't know why
like,
I'm saying that. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel, but that should be the standard. Should be 5 at least.
Yeah, and I miss you, but
You do? You
I
miss the
do.
mics?
no, I miss the guy that he was kind of like my first
Flame.
flame.
Okay. He wasn't like. Did you have like?
No, I didn't lose my virginity to him. If
Okay.
that's what you're asking. Are you asking?
That's not what I was asking.
Oh.
But thanks for sharing that.
No, he was like the first guy that made me feel like, actually I'm pretty. I'm beautiful and
Yeah.
I deserve to be loved.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yes.
Shout out to this Casanova.
If I remember his name.
He clearly had an impact on you.
He did. He was such a sweetheart. He's like, I just want to see you like give it a try.
That's cool. Was he a comic?
No. He was I think he was going to school for accounting.
Okay.
Cause I know we met in my algebra.
Cool.
And he was like, I just wanted, like, he came up to me and was like, I don't want you to feel weird, but I think you're so pretty, I think you're so attractive, can I get your phone number? And at first I was like, are you talking to me? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, are you sure? I was like, say yes to confirm.
Wow.
Like, cause I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, a man just hit on me. That's crazy.
When did you move? When did you move to New York from North Carolina?
So I moved when I was 21.
Okay, so you had not still like gotten used to this idea of.
I was
Like
just
people-
working hard until I got into a college.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Once you it's crazy how once you let yourself be loved and appreciated, it just kind of opens up, right? But when you're closed off to people, no one approaches you because you don't give off that vibe of being.
I'm also at that phase now where I'm really closed off. Like I have like my roster of guys that I tend to go to now because I don't want to see myself in a relationship just yet,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because dating now sucks. I
It
don't know if
does,
you've
man.
noticed.
It's the worst. I am dating, so it's still recording. Yeah, I'm trying to date, and it's so fucking horrendous.
I literally, I broke up with one of my
One of
boyfriends.
my boyfriends.
No, I wanted to start something back up with a person, and I was just like, I'm an idiot. I should have never gone and tried to start something back up with that person, cause we, I don't know why I was handing you the mic. No, like, he came to one of the bar shows I did, and as we were still friends at the time, he went to one of the bar shows, and as I'm doing my set, he's asked the bartender for her Instagram. And I was livid. I was so angry.
Oh wow.
I was like, how dare you? I literally just told you how I felt about you, and I was thinking about, like, starting something back up with you. And you do that.
That's hurtful.
I was like, you don't care. You don't care. You don't care about me. You don't care about us.
Damn.
And then I had to think. I was like, bitch.
What'd you say? What did he say to that?
I blocked him before he could answer. I'm a big blocker.
Yeah.
I'm big on blocking.
Same here. I literally am just writing a bit about blocking.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You can start a conversation, right? Start an argument, and then you send your rebuttal. Boom, send. You wait until they see it. Block. When you start seeing those three little bubbles,
Yeah.
block.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Just sit there with whatever answer you have and
And
tell it
then
to yourself.
I unblock them 3 days later, and I'm just like, so you really not gonna look for me?
Wow, okay, look at you. You didn't come and find me wherever I am?
You didn't.
Damn.
You didn't
No.
start a fake account to try to check up on me?
Man, that is some
That's
ratchet
crazy.
shit.
Oh, I love gaslighting and manipulating men so much.
They're so easy.
Men are stupid. Okay,
They're dumb.
they belong in the kitchen. Okay. I don't know what it is. It's just like you're so easy to manipulate. You could literally just be like, I find it funny how, and then they're already stressed. If you just start with that, they're already. I find it kind of funny how, and you
Is that-
already have the
is that-
stress. That's a
that
trigger
wrong?
warning for them.
You know what I do when I want to stress someone out? I just, let's say we're having dinner, I just sit down and say nothing, let them talk, and I just smile like, and just look, and then I can see them getting stressed out because I'm not engaging in conversation. I'm like clearly analyzing what they're saying, and they get so freaked out. And yeah, I used to do that on first dates in the UK. I used to always, because I would know who's confident enough to deal with me and who's just like pretending to be confident.
Yeah, that's not manipulation. That is you, like showing your dominance.
I do that a lot.
You're showing that man. I also have a big dick. Okay.
Right.
That's
huge big
I
dick
love that.
energy.
I love that.
Some of them fall apart, man. They start like mumbling. They can't do eye contact when you do that. It's like that's a good way to just weed out. And then some people call me on it, and then I know that here's someone I can who can deal with me.
I think it's because I'm a comedian. I read body language. Like I look how the man is looking at me, how his body is. If he's arms crossed, he's stressed.
For sure.
He's not open right
Yeah.
now. If he sits down with his arms like to the side of the table, he's like open to the conversation, but at any moment he could be closed off. Like he knows something's gonna happen. If a guy's like chill like this, I'm like, somebody's a little bit confident today.
Do you try to break them down?
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
My first boyfriend, he would come and he would like just sit down next to me and he would just like talk to me this way and I was like, did you have a good day? What's putting that smile on your face, huh? Because it's not me. None of that. And he's like, oh, here you go. You're going to start a fight. And I was like, no, I just want to know why is he so happy? Is it my presence? And it was just, I'm bad.
You're difficult, hey?
Let me tell you something. You have to have a big set of balls to deal with me. And I'm such a princess. Like, I say this a lot. I don't need a man to get anything. I can get it myself. I've been getting it for, how many years now? I don't need a man to buy me nice things.
Right.
I need a man to be like, you're spending too much money. Give me your card.
Okay.
I need a man to be like, I don't think this is a good financial decision for you. I need a man to be like, I think you don't want to stay home today because you want to hit a certain mark on shows. You should go look for spots. I want a man to be like, I heard you say that joke last night. I think you should do it this way. Maybe I'll hit different. I want somebody that will be equal and collaborative with me.
Right.
And not be a dickhead. And just be like, oh, I brought us dinner. Do you want to fuck? And I'm saying, no, I can buy myself dinner, bro.
Right.
Like,
right.
What else are you contributing to this table that I bought?
Yeah.
What else are you contributing?
That's cool. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
So if you're that man,
find her.
I'm gonna block you.
Then you have to find her after she blocked you.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. You have to work for it. Just layers of it. Yeah. How are you finding the watermelon? You said you might.
I know. So with watermelon flavor, here's why I was like, gets me sick to my stomach. When I broke up with my first ever boyfriend, I smoked watermelon hookah for 3 months consecutive, like back to back to back. Like I would smoke it in the morning, in the afternoon, at night.
Oh my god.
And so when I stopped smoking hookah, and I started, like, I would just do it socially. Like right now, like I don't do this all the time. So when I say I get sick to my stomach, it's because I'm getting memories from that breakup. That
Oh,
trauma.
sorry. So this is like triggering. Okay.
This is smooth.
Alright, good.
I know there's some watermelon hookahs that are like so strong.
They're very strong.
And first pull, I'll be like, ugh,
yeah.
I can't.
This is like a different, because it's a different brand, they do it differently, but yeah, okay, good. You're feeling good about that.
Yeah.
Well, how's your dating life now? You
It's
still
trash.
going through the roster?
It's trash. It is, and I'm confident to say this. Like, yeah, I'm like, like I'm not lonely, but it's like I do want somebody. But it's like, am I ready for it? You know?
Right.
Because I feel like if I want a relationship, I know what I have to do. But I'm not looking for it, you know?
And you don't always need to. Right now, you're doing you, you're fucking killing it out here. You're doing so well, and it's like, sometimes it's just nice to have your own time and do things your way.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not a moment I'm gonna deny a dinner and a date, you know?
Right.
I'm not gonna deny a free meal. What's wrong with me?
No one does, yeah. Like, I don't know who does. It's maybe people who have trust funds. But free meals, I will never say no to.
I'll never say no. I'll never say no to a man that wants to be in the same room as me. Makes the effort, is consistent. Doesn't give me just dick. He gives me knowledge. He gives me strength, you know? He's the ideal equivalent. I'm not opposed to that. But am I looking for it now? Not really.
Right.
When I'm ready for it, it'll come.
It'll come, yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah.
If it's not for me now, I know why.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about comedy now?
Comedy right now, I'm 4 years in, and well, technically 2 years shows, 2 years mic. If that makes, like, you know what I mean. And 2 years into mics, and I've gotten a couple of good gigs. Like,
yeah, you have anything cool coming up soon?
Show wise, like me producing, no. I'm taking a little break from producing.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I'm known as like the producing
Yeah,
king.
you've been killing it, yeah.
But I'm taking a little break because I just need that stress off of me. I don't mind just doing spots.
Yeah.
And also I'm trying to get past at some clubs.
Okay, we'll talk about that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you're going at I think a steady pace, right? It seems like it.
I tell people this all the time. You're in your own journey.
Yeah.
This is I used to do this a lot. I used to compare myself to others that I started with. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're getting there and I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Or like I would, I don't know. I would just overpower myself, like overwork myself. Like, oh, if I do this, I can also do this, and this, all at the same time, and it's just like, take a breather.
Yeah.
Just work on being a killer.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like a time to do some things, and time to do some other. Like producing in the beginning when you do shows, it's good to have that because you use a different muscle to do that. You learn about shows in a different way, right? How to produce it, how to put on the best lineup, and how to host as well. And then when you've done that for a while, you start going back to yourself, and comparing yourself to others is never helpful.
Yeah,
it just stresses you out.
It stresses you out. And you start getting envious, or people see you as envious. Like I've gotten to that where like people have written a narrative about me, and it's just like, you don't even fucking know me. Yeah, people will literally be like they would see things and they'd be like, are you jealous, and it's just like, no, I'm stating the obvious.
Right.
And it's not it's different narrative that you're creating now. And it's just like, I've learned to like keep my mouth shut. And not if anybody that's a new comic, not everybody that you start with, you're gonna end up with.
Absolutely not, yeah. Absolutely. Some people
The class that you start with is not always gonna be your end class.
Yeah, and a lot of people also just quit, right? Not everyone stays in comedy.
Yeah.
Some people progress really fast, some people move away. I don't know. It's just like,
I also find it funny, people are like, oh, because I don't post that I'm on shows and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you're not working? I was like, I am working, I just don't care for everybody to see my progress.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in New York that's a real thing where people constantly show that they're on shows to they
prove
look
something.
busy. They
Yeah.
look busy so that they can be busy.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard them say. Like you have to look busy so you can get busy.
Yeah.
It makes you look like you're in demand.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares? I have the shows I have, and I'll post when
And
I
it's also
post.
like some of these people that post that they're on this show, it's just like, dude, you're on the same show at the same club every fucking week.
Right.
Relax. Just
Yeah.
enjoy your
Yeah.
like your career.
Yeah, and have you felt that people have been supportive of you in comedy? How do you feel about the male comics out there? I know you're tight.
Oh, you already know my favorite male comic. I think he's everybody's male favorite, like Jared
Oh, is
Waters.
it Jared Waters? Yeah, he's everyone's
He's like the
favorite.
godfather of comedy.
He is.
Jared's been like that, my like little like advice. Whenever I feel stuck on a situation or something, I go to Jared. I have like other like comics that I usually hang out with all the time, like Gina Brion and like JJ Matisse. Like, I don't try to put myself in a clique as much,
Right.
even though people are they're like, oh, we see you the same people. It's just like, that's because it's just
You make the friends you make.
you make the friends you make. But don't get me wrong, like I'll go into any comedy show and make friends with them too. I will say this, a lot of people, a lot of men have come up to me and be like, you know what, at first I thought you were intimidating. And I was just like, why did you think that? Because I'm fat?
Is that what you said?
I said that, I was like, you think I'm fat? It makes me intimidating? And they're like, no, because you could just, your energy, when you walk into a room, you just feel strong. And I love that.
I can see that.
I love that men, they're like, she's strong.
Yeah.
You can tell she's strong.
Yeah.
And there are moments where I'm like, I can hold my own back. I don't need.
Yeah. I think when I met you, I thought, this is someone you don't just like, you don't fuck with her.
You don't. This is the thing. I'm a calm, cool, and collective person. And if you pass the line to me, I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking with you anymore. Like, you're crazy. That's another thing. As a comic, you're entitled to have boundaries with whoever you want to have boundaries with. It's not your responsibility to feel a certain type of way about how they feel when you put your boundaries in.
No, that's true, yeah. And that's not just as a comic, right?
Because
That's
people will
just as a
see it as
human.
you being like negative towards them. It's like, I'm not negative towards you. It's just, I can't fuck with you anymore.
Right, yeah.
And because it's a male-driven industry. As females, we're not gonna be accepting everything.
No, we're not.
Especially women of color in comedy. What?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, Lisa, I can talk to you forever. Right at the end. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, dam_Lissa, DAMMN_LISSA.
Hell yeah. You want to plug anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Queens.
You can find me on Jansudistat, CANSUDISDAT on Instagram. Please follow the podcast, join my Patreon, and watch the episode, rate the episode, give us 5 stars, all of that good shit. Thank you for watching and listening.
Okay. That was good.
Thank you. That was fun. That was like we